This round, it's going much better than the first time that
You
I
look great, by the way. I mean, what'd you do different?
had
Anything?
hypnotherapy.
You seriously look amazing.
Yeah, the hypnotherapy definitely made a huge difference, and I lost a lot of the fear that I had before, so that helped. And well, really, I think that what's helped me a lot was the minerals.
Good.
Yeah, it's super duper helping, and I just took my second dose of the Chilex this morning. So,
Good.
yep.
Awesome. Not feeling fatigued yet?
No, and as long as I think that what was happening is like when I take the Chilex, it was like my all the essential metals were bottoming out.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that's why I felt so horrible. And
Mm-hmm.
but I think I noticed that when I just keep taking replacing the minerals, that the side effects are so much less.
Yay. Okay, well we'll see how you do today. And then we may do 2-day push of the Minrex with 1-day chelation. Because I would rather you not hit that crazy fatigue that you were
Yeah,
having. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm good
Okay.
with that.
Yeah. Well, awesome. You look amazing.
Thanks.
I'm happy for you.
I'm feeling a lot better. Thank you.
Good. Who else has celebrations? Candy, do you have a Can I hear
My
you?
my knees are getting better. I'm walking better, and I have stopped sleeping in my bed. I got a new bed, and I condemned it. I've been sleeping on the couch, and I got some air mattresses, and I'm actually falling asleep and getting some rest. So
Awesome.
starting to feel a little bit better. Still can't breathe, but uh,
You're still short of breath? Is that what
yeah.
he's I'm having trouble hearing you for some reason. I'm gonna mute everybody else. See if that helps us.
Let me turn mine up.
Oh yeah, that's so much better. I think there was just a lot of other interference. Okay, so that is wonderful. You have not had luck in that bed since you got it.
Right. So, yeah, I'm creating Chesney soldiers all night.
Oh, ladies, you would not believe. I have worried myself to death since 3 o'clock this morning. I am a mess. You know how it is, like pre-vacation or like when you're trying to get everything ready. And then my husband drops the bomb on me yesterday. He was like, I got us checked in with the embassy, and I've been going through all of the crime that goes on there and any type of fraud. Need to hear that. You just don't want to hear any of that.
Right.
And I got
But
us insurance because, we'll be on an island and we would have to take a chopper off the island in the event that one of our kids breaks their leg or an arm. And I'm just like,
gosh.
so I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm not worried about whether we make it there or not. I'm worried about whether we make it home.
How exciting.
Oh dear. Anyhow, he really knows exactly what to say right at the perfect moment. But anyway, so you and I could have like chatted at like 3 o'clock in the morning, Candy. Had a
We could probably do that every morning.
All right. Any others? So, Candy, first of all, I'm really happy about your knees not hurting as much. Okay. Do you think that the difference of that is the Circuplex 95? Because I know you tried to reintroduce that back.
I think it's partly that and the compression socks. Getting
Awesome.
the feet to stop swelling so much. They're still pretty big,
Mm-hmm.
but they're better.
Okay. And I will have Casey. So I've already given her, just so everybody knows, I know you all got a message from me yesterday about specifically what I want each of you to be doing. If you haven't gotten your MSQ complete, if you can knock that out for me, that would be great. For those of you, like Katrin, you just did yours, so I didn't ask for yours. But for everybody else that's been in for a little bit of time, I just want to make sure that we're on the right track and that I don't need to make any adjustments. I've promised her that we're gonna, you know, I'm leaving her, all of you in good shape for her to take care of. But she and I will be communicating via Voxer if anybody needs anything that's urgent, okay? But what I would like to see is I want to just double check MSQs, make sure that I'm not seeing any symptoms that are odd that weren't present before that are now peaking, where we have to make adjustments, all right? So any other celebrations? Katrin, how was Canada?
Was very good. We are on the way back home.
Was it good weather?
It was good. It was sunny, but was colder than in Missouri. So
Yeah.
it was good. We enjoyed. We went to Niagara Falls. It
Oh,
was beautiful. Nighttime. Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah.
I
Uh-huh.
bet. Awesome.
Yeah. And
Any
it was Thanksgiving yesterday. So it was nice. Good food.
Awesome. And so you were able to get your labs done prior to leaving?
Yes, I did organics and DNA one,
Mm-hmm.
and CSAP I'm gonna do when I get home or tomorrow or next day.
Mm-hmm. The CSAP. Okay.
Yes, CSAP. And I got my supplements
Mm-hmm.
just the day before when I was leaving, so I got it. I got all the supplements ready, and when I talked to Casey, she actually, I think she marked it down. My program starting from tomorrow, 16th.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that's what she had said. She said that, in which I don't think it's going to be a big, hard change for you, right?
Say it one more time.
It shouldn't be like a big change for you because you've been.
No.
Yeah.
Yes, I've been doing its elimination even more than I supposed to. So it's gonna be actually a feast, the elimination for me.
Good. Good.
Have the meat and all the fruits and vegetables. That
Good.
I'm gonna do okay.
Okay, good. Hey, Candy, I wanted to tell you, I saw, and for everyone, honestly, but I just know Candy, she's been trying some different meal preps. The longevity diet, Katrin, I'm just going to mute you. The longevity diet, I'll find you the link, but Dr., what is his first name? It's Largo, is Dr. Parvis Largo, I want to say. He has done a ton of research over intermittent fasting diet and eating for longevity. So he has this book that it's called The Longevity Diet. It's phenomenal. He has actually eradicated diabetes in a monkey population, which is incredible just by changing their diet, okay? And yes, it's not humans, but monkeys are about as close as you can get.
Right.
He does all of his research out of the University of South Carolina, the Longevity Institute. They are actually now starting meals, like where they ship you 3-day supplies of meals. I have no idea of the cost of it, but like literally the food was farmed and delivered to you from 48 hours of actually the food being harvested
Wow.
and you can choose either a fully vegetarian or a pescatarian meal plan option. Now, the meals in the evening, they do have to be prepared, but the breakfast and lunch and snacks are ready to go. So they said, like,
Interesting.
you may want to check that out, because you said that which one did you try? And you said they're terrible.
Trifecta.
Trifecta. Have you guys seen that on with all the ladies with their awesome bods? I'm like, I want that. I almost ordered them just so I could look like her. I'm just kidding.
They were all about getting buff for sure.
Mhm.
And there was hardly any vegetables on in my meal. There was mostly carbs and protein. So
Yeah. Okay. Look into this. Let us know. Actually, I think that's a phenomenal meal plan. And Erin, she is not able to be on these calls because of work, but she does she does a meal replacement as well. Now, she's completely vegan. And then Shalina isn't able to be on these calls as well, and she does a couple different meal plans. But I told you all the ones that she does. But anyhow, let me know what you think, what you find in terms of pricing. I'd be interested to see how much that is.
Yeah, see how affordable it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but of course, the meals looked delicious from their marketing.
Yeah.
It was like a nice piece of wild caught salmon sourced. They're really watching the sourcing of everything. It looked like Trifecta was doing that as well, though. All right. Any other celebrations? Brittany and Ashley and Dottie, how are you all?
Doing good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Don't really have any celebrations, but I mean, I guess that my labs came back and we kind of have more of a direction, I guess.
Exactly. We're getting there. There. Yeah. And I still have not received, let's see, we were waiting on your
DNA.
Your DNA, and we were waiting on Kathy's, one of her different ones. I have not received those to date. But anyhow, did you get your other test? Yeah.
Not yet. I mean, I think because it should come either today or tomorrow.
Okay,
but I got
perfect.
a message that it was on its way.
Okay, perfect. All right. Yes. How's your stomach been?
It's been fun. I mean, I had a little bit of constipation, but it seems to have gone away, and I'm fine.
Good.
So
good. And how's your stress been?
it hadn't been that bad. So I've been doing lots of breathing.
Good. Awesome. Okay. All right. And Ashley or Dottie, whichever one.
Or not, but I've had like major OCD anxiety, and I'm hoping that it's like the die-off happening. I sent you a message yesterday about it because I haven't had, I guess, this much like
it is die-off,
mental like stress, anxiety, like, and I realize it like it hasn't been this bad in like a year and a half. I mean, it's taken me back to this place of like, oh my God, this was me every day chronically, like a long time. But now it doesn't bother me in the same way. I'm more of like the observer. So I'm just kind of like, wow, this is bad,
It's eye-opening too. So what I want to just pause you for just a second. This is an eye-opening experience. So it is 100% die-off. So we probably need to back off just a little, okay?
Okay.
So I'll get with you. I didn't see the note come through, so
Well, you just had reminded me to do my the little document. What is it called? So I just put thank you. I'll get to it. And I did do that already. I paid you for the anti bio the whatever you sent me a few weeks ago. But I hadn't had these symptoms or this much like mental chatter. I mean, it's just bad. I mean, it's like I'm aware of like every time I blink, you know, like I'm just super like hypersensitive and but it was only when I started taking that second I guess the one that's substituting for the what is it called?
Did I put
Sorry.
you on the GI Microbe X?
I believe so. I wrote it down on the link. But yeah, I'm even just having a hard time like really I don't know. Just not a good mental space. Yeah. I'm like I'm just not good. I can't remember right now, but I was taking the candicidal and that seemed to be going well. Like I would take it 3 times a day. But when I added this one in and taking it together, it's like even from that first day I was like, whoa. And I'm realizing like I can't just breathe through it and just like ignore it. Like it's very much like this is here, you know. And so I'm just kind of like, okay, I'm hoping that it's part of the die-off process and that in a way it's a good thing and not kind of this like, oh my God, what's happening to me, you know?
So a couple things that I want to say. It's absolutely die-off.
Okay. Yeah. Because I was like feeling so good for weeks before. So I'm thinking I couldn't have taken this much of a crazy step in the wrong direction.
It's not you being crazy. Okay. So you're not crazy. And I love your hair, by the way. It's super cute. So cute.
Thank you.
You're not crazy. And so I'm just going to put that out there. And so what we're going to do, we're going to back down. So back that down. The GI Microbe X, let's see. So you just bumped it to 2?
So I did, exactly. Well, so no, you gave me this GastroMend HP. It was like an Amazon link. It's in substitute for the burbamycin, or what is it called?
Let me see that, because
this is what I got in. Let me show you.
Okay, will you send me, that is not, I'm so sorry, but that is not what, so I intended, I'm wondering if the link went to kind of a generic where then you had to select that. So.
Sorry, I just, and you know what, I didn't even read it. You sent me the link, I clicked it, and I bought it, like immediately. It wasn't like something that I kind of checked.
So let's.
And then I'm taking it, and I'm like, I'm going crazy. No, I'm kidding.
It's okay.
Sorry.
Let me see. Show me that. So what I want you to.
I am taking this one.
Okay, good.
So I'm taking this one twice a day now. So I did bump it up to twice a day. I was just doing it once, and I didn't have these symptoms. And then I'm taking the candicidal. So these are the ones that I take a lot. I mean, you know, the recommended dose. So.
Okay. So what we're gonna do.
But this is the one that I just received and started taking, and I thought it was the one in substitute for the what is it called, the bourbon?
I'll take a look at that if you don't mind. I'll take a look at that after this call, okay? And I'll reach out to you.
Thank you. I'd appreciate it. I know you're leaving, and I'm not so worried about it because I feel good and I have energy, and it's not like I'm like, oh my God, but I'm like, this is nuts. Like. It was my birthday weekend in Austin, and I'm like, I'm without the kids. I'm at a concert. Like, why do I? And I'm just like, you know, and I'm just like, God, let it go.
It's okay. It's okay. So definitely discontinue that one. I want you to drop the GI Microbe X back down to once a day. I want you to stay on that for 1 week. And then I'll get with you to see exactly what's in that specific thing that you were taking, the other one.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
And this to me just goes to show these symptoms are coming from your gut.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
It's the same thing that happened with Katie when we chelated her the first time. It's like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but we're going to back it down.
Okay. And the Candicidal, I can still take that 3 times a
Absolutely.
day. It's okay.
Yep.
All right. That
That's
that
fine.
one didn't seem to give me any kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine. And then the other thing that, let's just back this down for now. And then the other thing that I may actually recommend to you is connecting you with Katie, who has an amazing hypnotherapist that resets her. And
Oh, good.
that she was struggling with is also a mental block in this kind of, do you mind? You don't care that I share this, do you?
No, I don't.
Okay,
I don't
well,
mind. No.
Okay, so like almost like this fear that was making her get stuck,
Yes.
fear of any change in the protocol, you know, and then it would go back to this like kind of, it was
He basically had said that, in a nutshell, kind of what it turned into was a phobia.
Yeah.
And it was just like I was afraid of being afraid of, you know, like I would freak myself out because I thought I was going to have a panic attack, and then I'd make
Yeah.
myself. And then I would connect that with, and this sounds so completely stupid, and it kind of really was,
No.
but it was when my son was getting on and off the bus. And I don't
Okay.
remember if you remember me ever saying that, I get it. Well, that's kind of what it turned into, was that it was a phobia. And so that's where my conscious mind kind of just connected those two things and trying to make sense of my symptoms. And that's where it all happened. And I'm telling you, he is a genius. It takes like 1 hour of your time. He does
I
his
would.
thing. Yeah.
I would love to. I mean, I feel like I said, in so many ways, I was like, I'm not here. Like I hadn't experienced this in about a year. Then all of a sudden it's back, and I'm like, oh my God, I see it in a different light, but it's still so intense. And I'm like, I cannot get over this, like, you know, my eye thing, my blinking. It's just like, you know, and I'm like, I'm so ready to get over it, but it's just there.
And the same thing is kind of happening with you. It's kind of like he said, basically the same thing. Like when you have that trigger, when something triggers it, it's something that you really just can't control until he can do his thing. He talks to your like unconscious part of the mind, and says you need to level off these anxiety, level it off again, and basically reset your brain. It's gone. It's amazing. I'm telling you, it's amazing.
No, oh my God, that would be wonderful. Yeah.
I'll pass on the information to you, Ashley.
That's great.
Now, you know, quickly, let's just, you know, back the GI Microbe X to 1. We're going to stay on that for a full week, and then you'll try to up it again. If you have the same symptoms, you bring it back down. So we'll just stay on that, you know, for as long. That just means, I mean, the die-off process is very intense, people. I mean, for some people, men can just fly right through. It amazes me. They can just fly right through it. They have very little die-off. But for women, we're very different. And it really impacts our system. But typically what I've found, though, is once you can get over that initial hump, it's so much better. Then you can just flow right through.
Okay.
And so that is, it's just getting through the initial part. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Dottie, do you have, hey, Ashley, how was vacation?
Great. It was awesome.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it relaxing?
It was very relaxing.
Awesome. No kids, right?
No kids. No.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
It is great. I'm not brave enough to do that yet. That's when my like irrational thoughts start to kick in, or when my kids are not with me. So
it's true. You have to fight that urge.
How are you feeling? So you have your supplements. Right, Ashley?
Yeah. Yeah. So I started.
I know we've got two Ashleys, right?
the elimination diet on Sunday, and I started taking the supplements in like full time. So it was it's incredible just within 2.5 days how much like I can make a fist. It's crazy. So I'm like driving today and I'm like, I'm actually gripping the steering wheel. It's great. So I'm very excited.
Awesome. How are your feet feeling?
They're feeling a little, so I feel just like a little bit more functional. So I'm just hopeful that it just keeps getting better.
It will. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. That is just great news. And you're doing the Omega, you're doing 2 pills twice a day, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. For another couple weeks? Or what? For you started the supplements when?
Just Sunday, basically. Yeah.
Sunday. Okay. So for your 2 weeks, and then you can back it down to twice a day.
Okay.
1 pill twice a day.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
If you back it down and you have increased symptoms, then that means that you're still pushing too hard out arachidonic acid. And so then we need to pull it back. We need to bump it still to get that balance. Okay.
Okay. Great.
All right, Miss Rebecca, how are you? Hang on, let me unmute you. Oh,
There
there you go.
Okay. I am feeling good. I just am finding that when so the sweet craving I have is it's in my DNA. So I tend to want to snack. I tend to want to eat all day long. Like it's hard for me to find the time when you're supposed to take something on an empty stomach because my stomach's never empty. I'm like a shrew. I have to eat every 30 minutes, I think. But it's in my DNA. What am I supposed to do? So, so what I'm finding is when I follow the protocol, I feel great. And if I try to go off by eating too much sugar or sugar at all, like the wrong kind of sugar, or too much of the right kind of sugar, I feel bad. And so it's just me learning, you know, how.
Discipline.
That's discipline.
Word of discipline.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I'm finally getting it that it really does have a direct effect on me. And so do I want to feel good or do I not? And somebody else shared with me, you know, everything you put in your mouth is either hurting or healing. And that comes back to me over and over. And when you think of it that way, it's not worth it. Not worth it. So
what I can tell all of you all from years and years of experience of doing a quarterly cleanse and talking about taking discipline, okay, when you allow and when you really say, okay, this entire month, okay, finding a month where it's like, oh, but I have dinner plans with that person and I'm going to want to drink wine and you know, finding a month per quarter is what takes the discipline. And then tightening everything up and just doing that, you know, exactly what we're doing, exactly what you do the first 30 days of the program. That's what you repeat. That's, you know, 1 month per quarter. And then each time that you come back, each time that you do that, you feel a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. And so it makes it so much easier to let go of something more, to just let it go each time. But it's really, you know, for you, you have pretty good genetics, except for that inflammatory cascade. Sugar is highly inflammatory. So when we eat it, it is going to have a direct impact. Susan had that same experience. I don't remember do you remember her sharing that?
Mm-mm.
Susan Hope, she said that exact same thing that you just said. She was like, I was blown away. She just cheated with like maybe one bite of cake or something with sugar.
Oh, yes, yes.
Bite.
Yeah.
And it was like instant
Yeah.
increase in.
Yes, yeah. I guess that's good. It slaps our hand. That makes it a little easier than if it, because for a while I couldn't even pinpoint that. And it's becoming easier now to see it. I didn't even see it. Yeah, I was so kind of painful all the time that I couldn't tell. And now that I feel good, I can tell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I think we get just stuck. We kind of go, you can see where chronic disease finally presents, right? Because we walk around, you don't even know that you don't feel bad until like, boom, the genetic switch is flipped, and then you're full blown.
Mm-hmm. Because you've been on a slippery slope for a while.
Yep.
So you haven't even noticed yourself getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah. And that's exactly why I am such an avid believer in doing a full-blown elimination. I think that we can use food sensitivities as crutches. And so it's like, oh, well, sugar doesn't show up on that or this. And you just eliminate those foods that you have sensitivities to, even though they only test 96, or if you spend extra, then they test, 100 and something foods. But I really am. Now, here's the good news. The good news is that as we continue to heal, because we're not just removing inflammatory foods, all the supplements that you're on are healing the gut lining and the tight junctions between the cells. Okay, so that's the good news. That does take some time. So what you'll find is what I find is right after I do a 1 month, tighten it up, and then I come off of that, if I do just like the other night, I had a slice of pizza.
Mm-hmm.
I should not have had a slice of pizza. Our house is like, we have no food in it. And my husband came home with pizza from Costco. So I was like, well, I'm starving, so I'll have a piece. And it greatly impacted me. But I haven't I did my quarterly cleanse in July and August. So I carried it through. And so then I've kind of, as we're getting closer to vacation, and I'm starting to get a little more slippery with the things mentally that I'm allowing in. I'm starting to make excuses. And then when I go on vacation, I'm full vacation mode. Like, I'll enjoy pina coladas, sugary stuff, I'll eat street food. I'm not gonna, when I come back, I will tighten it up. So that's when my next month will begin. Okay, so whenever I'm coming off of that cleanse, if I have a little bit of something, it doesn't impact me nearly as much as after I've been off of it for a while, and then I start to notice more sensitivity start to pop up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. So anyhow, that's kind of the cycle. That's the cycle of healing, but you won't always have to be like super strict unless for you, that's what your personality demands. For me, I know as long as I can do this scheduled plan and then I stay disciplined and committed to actually do it, then I can. So I kind of.
Well, and I'm wondering about things like gluten. I have no desire to ever try it because I'm scared to. And I wonder, I don't know if it's true that people with lupus just need to stay away from it.
I think with any autoimmunity,
Okay.
It is highly inflammatory.
Okay.
I mean, anybody with Hashimoto's, it's a no-go. Like I should not have, I'm really, most of the time I've been okay not just letting that go altogether. It's not something that I try to reintroduce. And now if I went to Italy, I would, because their flour is not, their gluten is not like our gluten
Oh, okay.
at all. It hasn't
I
been.
thought you just meant because you'd be on vacation mode.
I would.
Full vacation mode.
Plus that. Extra wine, extra gluten. No, but honestly, in Europe, you know, they don't, they ban 1,400 chemicals. They don't, it's very, they're not genetically modifying their wheat. In the US, all wheat is genetically modified. So it's like we're getting this highly processed material that, and honestly, the protein structure of gluten, it replicates the thyroid. And so when you already have high thyroid antibodies, then the thyroid gets confused when it comes in contact. I'm sorry, not the thyroid, the immune system becomes confused. So then it will start its attack and start to increase those antibody levels back up.
Mm-hmm.
So that is, I really do say, for if you can leave gluten out of the equation, there's just certain things that I would prefer all of you not to allow back in, unless it was just a little bit on a special occasion, like your birthday and a favorite, you know, your favorite dessert. Even better is if you can start to craft, you know, things gluten-free. I'm not very good at that, but.
Oh, I just have to say that as far as the gluten thing, well, I'm also very sensitive to it, and lupus isn't really too far off from having MS either. So it's just like that inflammatory thing going on. But I ended up, and this is just I found at Walmart. I mean, the one thing you have to be careful with gluten-free stuff is how much sugar would be in stuff. That's your biggest thing that you have to watch out for. But at Walmart, they have pasta there. That's, some of them are made of like red lentil, chickpeas, and yellow lentil. So I've tried 2 of them, and they're really not horrible. They're decent. So I mean, there are definitely things that you can find out there. Again, the only thing you have to look out for is that sugar content.
Yeah, I feel like it's getting better and better, because it seems like the whole world is wanting to go gluten-free all of a sudden. So yeah, so the options are becoming more and more.
Exactly. Yeah, Katie, I also, so with my kids, I try to keep them 80% gluten-free. So when they eat at home, everything in our house is gluten-free. But we use a quinoa-based one, and it's out of Italy, and it's really, really good. Like, they can't even tell a difference. Even my husband was like, "This is gluten-free?" Yes.
Wow.
So they do have some good ones that they're starting to come out with for sure. All right, Dottie, how are you?
Hey,
How's it going?
can you guys see me or only hear me?
We can only hear you.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not like a techie person at all. This was a whole chore, but yeah, so I'm okay. You know, I messaged you. I have a throat thing going on, and I'm ready to get like results back and kind of get going. I just feel like I'm kind of stalled because I can't really move forward into much more yet without results. But
so why are you feeling
I'm still here. I'm still sticking with it.
Good. You're doing the elimination, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I've been eating AIP forever, so I didn't really have to do much with that. So yeah, and then I'll do my last test this week,
and get
Good.
that shipped off probably early next week. And so that's the plan. Yeah, but I'm just I'm just kind of at that place where everybody else has been, while you're kind of waiting, and I'm a little bit bummed, that I kind of had that weirdness with the protein mix that I told you about.
Yeah, so you're on the Brain Sustain, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and see, I don't taste that. So Ashley, you are on the Brain Sustain as well. Do you have it do you ever have like a metallic taste to it? Which flavor did you get? Did you get
I
vanilla
don't.
or chocolate?
I have the chocolate,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's incredible. I don't
Okay.
taste it. Yeah.
So I have the vanilla one.
Oh,
And I don't know if you can even hear in my throat, I'm a little hoarse. It's almost like my throat is raw or something. But after I drink it, and I tried a couple different things and dilute it and just a little bit and this and that, it's not wild, but it's after, and it's kind of fishy or metallic-y or something, and it's I don't know, reflux or something, burning back my throat. My husband was laughing. He was like, well, then it's good, it's a legitimate product, because you ruin every product. So for sure this is a good one, but he tasted it, and my 17-year-old tasted it, and they were like, what in the world are you talking about? I'm like, it's weird. I feel like I'm like a dragon, I'm breathing something, I taste it. And then my throat, the whole rim of my throat, it's red, and it's not going away. So
yeah,
maybe
there's an easy way to solve this. Just stop taking it and see if the symptoms continue to present. Okay?
Yeah.
And
So I haven't taken it for several days, and it's not getting any worse, but it's not really getting it. It's just kind of there, but it doesn't present laryngitis or strep or anything.
Then I think you are coming down with something. I'm so sorry to tell you that, but if it were a food sensitivity to it, then that would go it would be like the elimination. I mean, when you take it away, that is going to subside. So so I do unfortunately feel like that you might have something more going on. Now, tell me what other supplements, because I know you were kind of hesitant about the probiotic. So tell me what other supplements are you taking?
So nothing else. And this is precisely why, I'm telling you, I'm the queen of the 2%. If something's going to happen, I'm in the group every time. So that's why I only started with this. The protein mix for now, and then we were going to try something for a good week, and then incorporate the next one. So I'm taking nothing else at all.
Perfect. So what I'll do, Dottie, is I'm going to, after we get off of here, I'm going to make myself a note. I'm going to check your supplements list. Do you have them, or did you only order this?
No, I ordered everything except the probiotic.
Perfect. So this is what we're going to do. I am going to go through your supplement list, and I'm going to give you a 1, 2, 3, 4 in terms of prioritizing. And so then that's the order that I want you to go in. Okay. And so in the meantime, we've got to keep you off of an antibiotic.
I know. That's, trust me. It's in the weather, in Georgia, it just changed by about 40 degrees in 2 days. So,
I'm dropping Rebecca a Antibio-Botanical. I'm going to drop you one as well. So what it is it's an herbal antibiotic. It doesn't influence. Would you be okay doing that?
Yes.
Okay. It doesn't influence the gut flora. It's not going to wipe out the good bacteria and all of that, but it is broad spectrum. So it will target, I use it all the time with my kids with strep.
Okay.
Okay. Instead of antibiotics.
Okay.
All right. So that's what I'm going to do. So, but I'm going to prioritize your supplements for you, because you should be seeing results. Those should start promptly. Okay.
Okay. Yes.
but not just by diet changes, right? You've been doing the diet changes for a really long time and you haven't seen progress. And that's where, you know, we, based on the symptoms that you were having per your intake form, I crafted those supplements with, I'm pretty good. Would you all say, like, the ones that have had their lab results read, pretty darn close with what we need, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm really good at doing that. That's I'm intuitive, but also I've seen a lot of lab reports, and so I'm pretty good at, and I know you feel like you're the 2%, but I would say that everybody sitting in this group would also say that they have much felt that they're the 2% of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the group. Yeah.
So trust the process, and I will prioritize. I'm totally fine. You know, try a supplement, add it, 3 days, add another one. Okay. 3
Okay.
days, add
Yep.
another one. But I'll do those in order of priority.
Okay, perfect. And sorry, my daughter's on this spectrum, guys, and she's in university and she's calling me in classes and I have to jump off the call, so I'm sorry.
Okay, perfect. No problem. I'll contact you later, okay?
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
You're welcome.
Hey, Leslie, before you go on, since you brought up that botanical antibiotic, can I ask, is it for that one bad bacteria that GI microbe is attacking? You want to then attack it with that too? Okay, just making sure I followed that right.
Specifically.
Okay.
That's exactly what it's going to be used for.
Okay.
And I have to go too real fast.
Okay, Brittany, do you have any questions?
No, I'll just get in touch with you. I guess we're waiting for my DNA test to come back before we decide what supplements we're going to add.
That's right.
Okay.
Yes, and you've stopped the probiotic and the.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
And then doing the gaps now.
The low FODMAP, right?
Low FODMAP. That's what I'm doing. Yeah.
Okay. You stay that course. I promise. I'm checking. I'll check my email again as soon as I get off of here. I have your lab reviews completely ready to go. It's just a matter of I have to add in those others. So I'm ready for the appointment at any time that I get those other results back. Okay.
Okay. Awesome.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Well, have a good day. Okay.
Hey, you too.
Hey, Leslie, I was curious, not that I even remotely think that anything was going on with my hormones, but I had gotten a note that it's been probably a good 8 or 9 weeks now that the labs had said that they got.
Oh, and you haven't gotten that back.
And you haven't said anything about getting them, which is why I was asking. I don't think anything's wrong with my hormones myself, but you never said anything about getting those, so I don't know if maybe that's something we need to check on. So,
thank you for anybody else in that same situation where we haven't.
It's been a really long time that they've been had.
It has been a really long time, yeah. Although I feel like they may be a little backed up right now because I feel like it's taken a little bit longer to get Brittany and Kathy's labs. So it's just kind of ironic how we've had to wait. All right. So one thing that I wanted to just go through today is I wanted to talk about, because this is the one thing that I kind of fly through when I'm doing lab reviews, because there's so much to talk about, right, when we're covering this. If you all have already had your labs, then go ahead, if you have access to them, pull up your DNA diet. And if not, I'm going to share mine. Okay, so everybody can see my DNA diet panel. And I want to just go through these. Okay, so so that way I know I throw so much information at you all when we're going over, and I always want you all to be able to come back to these and really know what you're looking at. Okay. So the first thing that you come to is they establish what is the best meal plan for you given the way that your body breaks down fat, your responsiveness to carbohydrates, different things to that nature. What your inflammatory cascade is, that will all play a role in them determining the best meal plan for you. Okay, so as you can see here, it lists the Mediterranean diet is the best for my genetics. And given my genetics, and this is really specifically kind of geared toward if I were trying to lose weight, then it doesn't take my body as much exercise in order to maintain an optimal weight. Okay, so that's kind of how you can read this. So moderate intensity and then 15 MET hours. And I'm going to go through that in just a second as well. So that way, to help each of you kind of determine what types of exercise we should be doing. And then I'm going to make myself a note. So week after next, when I come back, I want to really dive into exercise, what that needs to look like for everyone in terms of establishing exercise plans. And okay, so what we're going to do, so it gives you all the genetics right here, okay? In terms of carbohydrates, you can see my body doesn't necessarily love carbohydrates. But this is what I look at. I flow down here, and I'm going to see, I go through each of your genetics, and I want to see from obesity risk, how many obstacles, if your goal is weight loss, how hard of a time are we going to have, okay? And as you can see here, mine is low to moderate. Now I want to add, this is just given my genetics, all right? And so as we have disease and dysfunction set in, we kind of gravitate a little bit away from those genetics. We have to factor in everything. So the fact that I also have Hashimoto's, that is going to impact a little bit of weight resistance as well. Okay, so I do factor in disease processes into the equation. Okay, so carbs. I have a low to moderate risk when it gets into carbs. The carbohydrates shouldn't have too much of an impact on my ability to lose weight. But if I had a very high diet and carbs, then it could slow that weight loss process. Okay? If you're at moderate, then it's going to have more of an impact on you. As you can see here, saturated fat is definitely kind of a no-go for me if my goal is to lose weight. So what I would want to make sure, and when I'm choosing what I'm going to eat, then I would want to gravitate more toward the monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats. Okay. So those, now, this is where it starts to get a little confusing. Now, I always like to point this out. Now, what this is saying is that there are some of us that you actually will respond better. You will lose more weight when you consume over 13% of your total caloric intake from monounsaturated or polyunsaturated. What this is saying is that it doesn't really matter for me. I just need to have the standard amount, okay? So like a ketogenic diet for me is not going to be the best meal plan. Does that make sense? Can you tell how then we can start to factor through? A ketogenic diet for me is actually going to be like it would be detrimental, especially if I were gravitating toward more of those saturated fats. It's really going to impact my overall health and inflammation. Okay, exercise, again, this is a low priority. It's not, it doesn't take that much exercise for my body to maintain appropriate. Now, Rebecca, you thought that you had a sweet tooth. Whoa. And the funny thing is, though, by eliminating, what I think that you'll find too is that after you've eliminated sugar for so long and totally so sugar is non-negotiable as well. And so I've completely taken sugar out of the equation, and I barely even, but like if I eat something sweet on my birthday, carrot cake, then it's really hard. It's like an immediate addiction for me. Immediate. Wow. So really, really important that if you do have a high sweet tooth and you don't control this, this is what I see. I'll see this, it's a consistent pattern. Boom, they've got the high sweet tooth. Guess what they have living in their gut? Yeast. Yeast overgrowth. It's like crazy. And then they have metabolic syndrome. So they have type 2 diabetes, high cholesterol, high blood pressure. Okay, common pattern. So that's where knowing this and knowing that if I have one bite, then you know, it's going to feel like a major restriction tomorrow. Okay. Snacking, this is where, do you feel full after you eat? Okay. And for those of us that don't feel full, then we're going to tend toward more snacking throughout the day. So this is moderate concern for me. So what's pretty important is that I eat on a fairly regular schedule and that I'm mindful about my snacking patterns. Then we come to circadian rhythm. And what this means is if I don't get adequate sleep, how likely am I going to be to deviate from my good behavior patterns? And what we see is that people aren't getting enough sleep, they're going to reach for the coffee and increase carbohydrates, simple sugars to break down quickly to provide them with energy. Okay, and then you can see how then it just creates this cascade of dishealth. Okay. All right, so here as you scroll down, because everybody's a little different, some people are low fat, some people are low carb diets. As you can scroll down, it gives you an overview, what a carbohydrate is, what fats are, what types of fats, unsaturated, monounsaturated, polyunsaturated, what categories those are to familiarize yourself. And then it's going to describe the meal plan. Okay. Now, coming on down where I said my body needs 15 net hours per week. Every single activity has a net value paired with it. And that value, you would multiply that by hour, an hour, and that's going to give you your net hour. Okay, so 15, so let's scroll down here. It gives you a whole list of activities. So if I do Hatha Yoga for 1 hour, that's going to be 2.5 net hours. If I only do it for 30 minutes, that's going to be 1.2. Okay, so you can see how that that number is going to change. If I go for a jog, and I run for 30 minutes, That's it. Actually, if you scroll down here, it'll give you your miles per hour, or it does kilometers per hour, and you can see. So right here, the 9.6 kilometers per hour. That is like I think that's like a 10-minute. I want to say like a 10-minute mile. If you're doing that for an hour, that's going to be 10 hours. If you do it for a half of an hour, that's 5. Okay, so 3 jogs per week would be enough for me at a 10 minute mile pace. Okay, so that's how you can use this specific one as your guide. I tried to do my best to outline and highlight when I am crafting your plan. So all of this goes into consideration when I actually establish the percentage of macros in your lab report. Any questions on that? No.
Not really.
All right. Any other questions? Everybody knows that they can reach Casey, the chat feature. If you have anything extraordinary going on, she will message me through Voxer. I'm going to check in to Voxer. I'm going to try to check that. She knows to also, our plan is that to also send me, if there's something immediate that requires my attention, she's going to send me a text, and that way I can help. She's not, so I don't necessarily have her give you advice over specific changes with supplementations, okay? But she can give you coaching over, this is the symptom that you're having, and here are some holistic interventions that you can try. So if there's something that needs to be addressed, then regarding the supplementation, then I'll take that. Okay. All right, ladies, have a lovely 2 weeks.
Have a wonderful time.
Yes, I'm going to. I'll try to upload some pictures. Trying to unmute everyone.
When
Yeah,
you come back and you're feeling inflamed, we will help you out.
Okay, good.
Have some fun for me.
Yes, I will. So it is lobster season there. So I hope to not deviate too much. But it's lobster season, and so I will be eating my weight in lobster. We're actually going on a day trip where we go fishing, and then they take us to an island and they cook our fish for us. And then we can take the fish, whatever's left over, we can take that home, and at the hotel, at the restaurant there, they will prepare our fish for us. So anyhow, we're pretty excited about that. But
Leslie, where are you going?
going to Belize, to San Pedro.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous.
I'm really excited about it. But anyhow, and so I told my husband when we were scheduling the fishing trip, my husband said, "Oh, I'm kind of concerned about our kids. You know, they don't eat fish, and you know, maybe we should pick up a pizza for it." I was like, "No, they'll be okay. They're going to survive. They bring fruit and other." No, we're not taking a pizza. And he was like, "You know, sometimes you just need to think about the kids." And I'm like, "You mean like taking them on our 15-year anniversary to they can choke down some fresh lobster. I mean, bless their hearts."
It might be more appealing to them if they see it caught and watch it happen.
I think so too, Candy. That's what I think. And so they'll get over it. They'll be fine. Oh my goodness.
They'll eat it if they're starving, right?
They will
Yeah.
eat it if they're starving, and otherwise they'll just whine. But anyhow.
It's so fun.
All right, ladies, I will miss you all. I really will, because honestly, my job does not feel like a job. So I look forward to our group calls and our hour-long hangout.
Leslie, just real quick, can you just text me what I'm supposed to take before you leave?
I sure will.
Just
I'm
so
gonna
that I'm
text you.
not like, I just want to make sure that I don't overtake or, take too many or whatever, just so that I don't feel
I
crazy
absolutely
like this
will.
for another
I'm gonna look at the link.
Okay.
So
I sent it to you again. I sent you the photo of the link of the one that you sent me, and it is the correct one. I mean, it's the same one. It's just a different bottle, but it's the same brand. So I don't know, if that's the right one after all or not.
Okay, I will take a look at that. I gotta go
Thank
back.
you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. You all take care. I will respond right now. So for any of you,
Thank you, Leslie.
you're welcome.
Hey, have fun.
I
Have
will.
a blast.
See ya.
Bye.
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 Bye.